Hey, good evening everybody. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday, February 25th. It's just shy of 5 p.m. If you didn't catch my video yesterday, go take a look at it. I was doing a little bit of bragging about good weather, spring fever, bare ground started to show and everything else. What a joke. Well, I called it. Not that I'm real smart, it was bound to happen. We got nailed last night. So, yeah, we got a good amount of snow last night. And then as you can see, the drifts. This is the driveway getting out of here. It does no good to plow right now or do any shoveling in the front of the house because it's just going to continue. It's been going all day long. It's actually calmed down quite a bit. It was pretty bad all day, and yeah, I kind of woke up to this morning going to do the chores, and it was a heck of a surprise, mainly because I haven't been keeping an eye on the weather channel. It's pretty cold. Actually, the actual temperature isn't too bad. It's tolerable. It's just the wind chill that comes through. Go figure, I start this video and it's calmed down quite a bit. I guess that's kind of the way it works, right? So anyway, this is just an update video to show you what kind of weather we can get here in about a 12-hour swing. These green troughs, feed bunks, excuse me, were just packed full of snow. They had to be shoveled out. And yeah, these guys and these gals are just finishing up their grain. Everything got fed today. As you can see, there's 2 new bales of baleage. And that bale of dry hay there, that's probably 4 days old. Yeah, we got hit pretty good. Pretty good. I'm just going to give you a little glance at the beef herd, if you can see them. They got their grassy baleage and 2 dry hay as well. They were completely out of feed this morning. We ended up having to put small squares in the feeder wagon there because the tractor was not plugged in or prepared. No big deal. By noonish, they were fed complete. We'll take a little walk in the barn. See if everything's done with their grain. I gotta push some hay in. And that's a wrap for evening chores. All the water's been given, grain's been fed. Thankfully, we got that powerful sun. It's probably a little dark for you guys, but most of their silage is gone. These guys are all gone. And looks like all the grain is cleaned up. You always, I mean, it goes without saying, but you always give them a little while to clean the grain up before you shove hay in. Otherwise they'll shove the hay back out to get to their grain, and then guess what, if you've already left, their hay won't be there for all night tonight for them to eat on. And what do if they're hungry enough? They're going to cause some trouble. They're going to get that hay, so chains are going to be broken and all that other good stuff. These bunch of pigs here are eating a record amount of corn silage, hay, and of course the grain goes in 2 seconds. Yeah, it's quit that coughing. It's a good thing. It's just absolutely amazing. That's good, because spring feeder sales are coming up pretty quick here. For me, month of April. There are some sales that do start in May. That's a little too early as far as I'm concerned. You know, people are buying these feeder steers to put them out on pasture for the late spring, summer, and fall. Pasture, or they're going to lot them and you know, put them on silage, haylage, and whatnot. But yeah, April. So yeah, they're all cleaned up. A little bit of hay left over. This was the youngest group here. They're doing pretty darn good, really good. But yeah, I'm gonna make a phone call in about another week. I'm gonna put a little bug in the ear of a somewhat local private buyer for these feeder steers. These penned feeder steers, as far as I'm concerned, you might think differently. Let's see, there's 22 of them. Unless somebody's putting a fancier diaper all winter on their feeder steers, you know, we're talking Holsteins here. Unless that's the case, you're not going to find, I'm sorry, I'm not a bragger, bragging's for idiots. You're not going to find a better group of what I'm going to call well-rounded out Holstein feeder steers within the surrounding markets. You're just not going to. But it come with a cost. They were heavily taken care of. They were fed grain twice a day. All pens cleaned every morning for comfort and this, that, the other thing. And they're just going through a load of hay. But that big beast right there, boy, I almost want to get him out of there. But he's not really doing any harm to these, to the smaller ones. So no harm, no foul, I guess, right? So yeah, I'm going to make that phone call in about 1 week. I'm going to give them a heads up. Hey, come on over, take a look at these animals. If in fact you're actually in the market to take on Holstein feeder steers this spring. And I can promise you, if they are in the business of doing that this spring, they know what they're doing, trust me. And because they know what they're doing and they know what they're looking for, I can almost promise you all these penned Holstein feeder steers, what have I said that 15 times now, are going to be privately sold. The what I call the steer lot, the Holstein steer lot, there's some nicer ones in there that they may take as well, only a smaller handful. The rest of them are going to be shipped to an April sale of some sort. I actually got to print off and kind of line myself up for feeder sales here this year. Pick what I'm looking at, what works best for me. And then I can promise you there's going to be a small handful of Holstein feeder steers in the steer lot I'm actually going to keep back. I am not impressed with them. Not too many other people would be impressed with them either. I've talked about this before. They were kicked out there way too young. And you can't do that. Shame on me. I'm sorry. It's what I had to deal with this past fall. It had to be done, and it just went to prove that they don't do well. They're eating fine. They're perfectly, for the most part, healthy. Their growth rate is awful. I'll just say it, the nasty word, they're scrubby. So my name is on their tag. My name's not going to show up at the sales barn with those animals. Period, end of story. I'll take a shellacking in the checkbook before I ever do that. Yeah, I said it. They're going to be kept all spring, summer, and fall. And we're going to see how they do. We're going to put them out on pasture with the beef herd and see what they look like this fall. They ought to be good. So anyway, all right, folks, it's Sunday evening. I got to get going here. I got to finish up chores. just a little update. Hope everybody else is doing okay. Had a fair weekend. Had some nice plans. Did some fun things. Got maybe a little bit of R&R, hopefully. And I hope your weather's a little bit nicer than here, and especially downstate Michigan is suffering very, very badly. I'm seeing a lot of news reports, Facebook stuff on downstate southwest Michigan. The flooding is horrendous, to include other areas as well. I think Ohio took a pretty hefty hit somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. And I can only absolutely assume Indiana and Illinois somewhere. They're all a little bit somewhat in the same area. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing okay. If you're not, keep on going and keep chugging along. All right, have a good evening. Talk to you sooner and later.